with 20 bucks. What are your thoughts on the generation of men born in the early 90s compared to now? I'm sure World War II has something to do with it, but so many people still hold these men in high regards as the toughest in recent times.
What, men born in the 90s?
In the early 90s. Or, I'm sorry, the early 1900s. Excuse me.
I mean, let's be honest, all right? All respect to our veterans and stuff, but our generation, this room right here, has seen a couple of pandemics that would have stopped the whole earth 100 years ago. And we're currently looking at 2 world wars. I think we're
Come
pretty
closer
tough.
to the microphone. Say that again.
Got you. So, I'm gonna put it like this. I got all respect for those who served in World War II. I got all respect for people who are older than me, whatever, right? But I'm gonna be honest, to keep saying that generation is the strongest, not bravest, sure. They can walk into some gunfire and not give a fuck. But to say they're the strongest, I disagree strongly.
Yeah.
My generation, every generation in this room right now, has faced COVID. Not just COVID. We faced what, a good 3 or 4 different pandemics that 100 years ago would have stopped the earth completely.
What other pandemics?
There was COVID. There was a secondary form of COVID that came out. SARS.
Yeah.
Bird flu.
Bird flu. There was
flu.
swine flu. Yep, there was that. There's quite a few that we've seen.
There was the sriracha shortage.
We've seen Afghanistan's war. We've seen the Iraq
9/11.
war. 9/11. We've seen this whole Russian-Ukraine, this whole Israel situation. Like, I'm going to be honest. Yeah, you guys were brave. You guys, congrats. You walked into gunfire. You made it. You came home. But I'm going to be honest. We're seeing a lot more that shouldn't be ending us right now.
Yeah, I agree with
that. And the worst part is, unlike back then where we didn't have a bunch of rich assholes with a big red button that could just, end the world, we got to deal with that too. And one of those rich assholes is so senile, it's a wonder how he even got elected.
Are you talking about?
So, Chris, if you were talking,
blunt, I'm talking about Biden himself.
If you were talking to a Vietnam vet who's been over in Vietnam and in the swamps in the rain, almost losing his feet, getting blown up with landmines, getting tortured by a Viet Cong.
Yeah.
Tell him about this age now, what we got to deal with.
All right. You want to know about this age, my man?
Yeah.
This is how you put it.
Yeah.
I live in an age of time where the reality of war is so distant from the actual person itself, it is insane until you go and talk to the victims. In your time, my man, an American person would look in the paper, see someone suffering, and actually feel for it. And these days, we've been so used to all this crazy shit, all this death, all this destruction, that we barely care anymore. You're the last generation that gave a shit about war, that gave a shit about what happens with it. My generation, we don't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
These days, we got computers to shove in our face to forget it. We've got, just a myriad of ways to just ignore it. And it's sad that back then we were more informed than we are today.
We've got it a little bit rougher now, I think.
Rougher?
Yep.
And I think in the grand scheme of things, not even just rougher, but the roughness has become hyper-defined in a way. To where it's a little out of control.
Yeah.
And I would absolutely love to see the world kind of revert back a little bit, maybe step back, take it back to the times of being in reality and knowing what the fuck's going on actually, instead of having people that follow one person's word and end up looking stupid at the end of the day when they go talking shit and that shit ain't legit.
It's like this. It's like if you were Japanese in 1945. If you're in Hiroshima or Nagasaki, you got blown up. But if you weren't, you at least knew, it was easier.
You at least knew about it.
Yep.
There's a lot of unknowns back then.
I would go so far as to say that people back then, I wouldn't say that they're cowards, but I would say comparatively, they kind of are cowards.
Kind of, yeah.
Yep. If you think about
Really,
it.
everyone's a coward when you think about it, man.
Well, not me.
I don't know, man. I think there's got to be something out there that would make you think twice before stepping into a room.
No.
There's got to be something. Snakes, cats, dogs,
Gay guys?
chinchillas, flying squirrels.
Bunch of gay guys?
I feel like you can handle a room of gay guys.
Yeah.
I feel like you could walk through that and get to the other side just fine.
Thanks, Chris.
I feel like the attempt to convert would not work.
Okay.
Hell no.
But
Yeah.
I think everyone's got something in their life where if they see that in a room, they're gonna think twice about going in there.
Oh yeah.